There we go. So this is the first time, obviously, that I've been on the Harley. This is a new camera, the GoPro 4 Silver, and I hope that this will show up pretty well. We will soon see. It's not too cold out. This time last year I actually made a post on Facebook, basically how it was really cold out. In my dipshittedness, I forgot to buckle up my helmet, so I took a pause and I strap up my helmet. That's how that goes. So like I said, it wasn't this overcast earlier, but that's kind of what happens. Maybe I should find neutral. There we go. The sun was out earlier, was pretty bright. That was around 9 a.m. But hey, you know, you deal with what you got. And of course I'm scraping something already, because the last time I was on the pig, I was actually on my small bike. This bike has a rather clappy exhaust. I don't know if that's what you'd call it. That's what I would call it, definitely. It's got a Reinhardt full Extreme True dual system on it, which is pretty loud. So forgive me if you hear a couple clicks here. That's just because I'm going to be opening and shutting my visor so I don't fog up here. So as soon as I get rolling, it's fine. I got a HJC modular helmet. And the vents work pretty well when you're moving. And when you're not, obviously there's no gust inside the helmet, so I get a pretty nasty fog. But I think it'll be alright. I think once I warm up here, it'll be easier to find neutral. It's not usually this hard on this pig, but so 53 degrees outside. Not bad. Especially considering last year was 35 degrees when I went to work. So I basically had to tuck my nipples in to my big boy panties, and then ride like a champion. So yeah, so that's 50 miles an hour. No, sorry. Yeah, 45 mph, vent open, microphone's right behind my camera here, in front of my mouth. So forgive me if I breathe in it or spit at you when I pronounce S's or P's. And that's visor closed. So hopefully the audio is a little bit more clean with the visor closed. Now with the other bike, I didn't have to talk too loud, only because the exhaust is obviously, it's not as loud as this. But with this bike, as soon as you get around $3,000, it just starts screaming. So you can say I got a larger windshield that's on this bike. The stock is only about maybe 8 inches, so it doesn't stick up much higher, maybe about 1 inch from the vent. This one sticks up maybe about 5 inches. This is a 10-inch windshield. Got 9-inch bars on this one. I didn't want them to stick up too much further than the fairing. I think it kind of looks a little goofy. I'm not going to do like a extended or a wild look on this bike. It's going to stay virtually stock looking. I will do extended bags and stuff like that, but with the setup on this bike, I thought the 9-inch looked a little cleaner because it doesn't hang over that fairing. So they're pretty much square, even. So, but we'll see. The camera's probably getting a bunch of gusty wind because it is in the waterproof case. I have not got external mic set up yet. I do have the pigtails. I got 2 of them, a GoPro one and a regular one. I think it's from a company called MVLOG. So So I'm gonna kind of do a test on either of those. I did audio test already, but it wasn't on the motorcycle, and I want to see if the sound is still going to be clean. The GoPro one obviously sounds great. The other one sounds good. I don't know if it's the same because I didn't do as long of a file test, but I'm going to do it soon. So I'm still using the external audio, the Sony recorder, and the ECM CS3 mic. I think that's what it is, CS3. So I don't have any like wind blocking my chin curtain area, so there is a little bit of wind getting in there, so hopefully this isn't too muffled, but we'll see. It wasn't too bad the last time I did the road test, but like I said, this bike is a whole lot louder, and I think with it being a lot louder, it's probably going to distort some of the audio because you're picking up mainly, I mean, it's going to be easily 50% of the sound is going to be from the exhaust. So I'd be surprised if it wasn't, even though I'm trapped in the helmet here. The mic is trapped in the helmet, but we'll see. Yep. So right now I'm taking a scoot to do kind of a secondary, I guess, test you could say. And the secondary is going to be the new camera setup, 1080 super view, 60 wide. Pretty much the base setup for any moto vlog or GoPro camera with the moto setup. I know most people, the view is probably going to be a lot different because there's nothing really on their fairing. There's only a couple people that I've seen ride Harleys with the moto vlog setup. I did start out with the OD RVM cam. Got a test on the channel on that one. It tested pretty well, especially in 1080. 720 was a little bit different, only because it cropped so much in the image and it pulled everything forward. It was kind of like a zoom, and the zoom didn't look too good. At least I didn't like it. So that zoom setup, this 720, that was the only way I could get 60 frames. I did that, and it just basically looked like the video was cropped and sped up. It didn't look natural by any means. The motion didn't look natural. Everything looked fast, and I didn't want that setup. I ended up buying the GoPro camera. I figured I'd buy the 4 now and test it out because I had no frame of reference for the 5. Although the 5 would have been a nice setup, I did watch a couple of videos in comparison with 5s versus everything else. Hopefully this comes out clean. Yeah, there's that sunshine I was talking about earlier. But if it comes out clean, this is probably going to be the major setup here. Like I said, I didn't drill a hole in the waterproof housing or anything. I'm going to use the external mic setup for now. The external, meaning outside of the GoPro, period. So eventually I'll get the GoPro camera audio through the microphone jack, and I'm probably going to just use a different housing. But I want to have the lens protector on because when I'm on the expressway, I mean, I know I'm not as fast as a sport bike by any means, but when I am on the expressway and I boogie, I could be going pretty quick, and I don't want anything to nick that camera lens and kill my view here. And then I can start playing the game here. So I figured I'd just tell you what the setup is, let you know how I have it. I got it on a chin mount, but it's a little bit skewed to the right, only because I have a vent right on my chin, so I had to go around the chin. And the last time I did some tests on it, it looked pretty good, so I figured I'd leave it there. But it's actually just to the right, not too far, but it's just to the right. And then I got it angled back towards the center, kind of. So hopefully the video is clean, and hopefully the angle's decent. If the angle's screwed up, then I'm gonna have to go back and mess with it again. So I think if I just want to get some thoughts down, maybe I'll just jump on that Honda because it's a lot quieter. Like I said, it'd be easier to cut the audio and not have to pull all of this noise out. But when I'm going on longer trips, maybe if I do rides or something like that, I'll just throw some music in and just edit it with a bunch of music as opposed to a bunch of voice noise, because it'll be longer rides anyway. It's mainly going to be scenic. But as you can tell, this pig is not going to let up any of that noise. I mean, this thing is loud. So, and it's funny because it doesn't sound this loud when you don't have a helmet on, but when you put your helmet on and this bucket starts vibrating, yeah, it's pretty loud. So especially when your speed limit is anything above 45. So speed limit's 50 right now. Flow of traffic's about 55. It'll get up to 60 some days when there's no traffic. I have decent faith in this microphone setup, because this microphone setup seems to be the mic of choice, and it seems to be the mic of choice for people even when they have a louder exhaust on a sport bike. And some sport bikes, I mean, I know Harley's allowed, and I'm not saying that their exhaust note is the same at all, but when sport bikes are breezing and they're getting after it, yeah, I mean, you can hear them, especially naked setups, inline 4s, inline 3s. They have a particularly distinct characteristic in this exhaust note. But yeah, some of the exhaust notes can be really, really distinct, so you already know that it's a different kind of loud. So, but this one is just a typical Harley exhaust, nice and loud, flashy, some chrome. So that's how I like it. So you can hear that's right around $3,000, and it's already pretty loud. If I kick down or if I open it up, I mean, you'll hear it. I just hope it doesn't distort any of the audio or video. So hopefully I can keep this set up exactly where it's at. I hope you're not getting too much of that windshield, and you can still see a little bit over the windshield. And then the super view helps, kind of pulls the view out a little bit. So getting a thumbs up from this kid in this virtual minivan in front of me here. I think she likes me. I hope she likes me. She doesn't have a choice. So yeah, so here's a thought, and I'll just say this just because I'm out here, and I'll use her as an example. I mean, in general, you get a lot of bikes that they get waves from little kids, and the parents, they either get it or they don't. Sometimes the parents can overreact, they pull the kid away from the street, or kind of snatch him up and say, yeah, we don't wave at bikers, or hey, let me give you an idea here, and this is just a thought. That the imagination that's set in motion with a child is so different from the idea that adults connect with the idea that the child has. So that the reason that the child loves the sound of the motorcycle or the look of the motorcycle, it's just because to them it's something different, especially if they're only used to cages. It's different, so they like the idea of something new. Could be that simple. It could just be that the kid looks at the motorcycle and they're like, oh, my dad rides, or my mother rides, or my sister, brother rides, or someone in their family is into motorcycles or fast cars, or it's typically that's the idea that adults connect with them, right? Fast, dangerous, loud, obnoxious, dangerous mostly. Dangerous, yeah. But there's a person behind the helmet. There's a character inside that person. Hope they're out here having fun. It's a different idea than being out here trying to hurt yourself or hurt anybody else. So to those parents, the parents that might overreact, just think about the simplistic idea that your child is displaying when they see a motorcycle. It could just be because of the loud noise. Some kids love loud noises. Some kids like fast cars or pretty cars or loud colors, or it could be whatever the hell it is. And you just kind of you steal the idea from them when you turn around and tell them, like, oh, we don't talk to tattooed bikers, or we don't talk to bikers, or you pull that part of their personality away from what they're really thinking. First of all, obviously, however they connect the idea of the motorcycle, but you might subject them to not speaking to these people in the future, and that's something that's not shouldn't be for you to decide. I mean, I get it. If you feel like you're keeping your kids safe, that's one thing. But I guarantee you that motorcycles got a lot more ideal process going on in their head, thinking about whether they're making it home or not, than to worry about, you know, distinctly swaying your kid's attitude or mindset about bikers. So you can just kind of, you know, just react how you want. I'm not here to tell you either or, you know, whichever way you react is just how you connect the idea, based on experience, I guess, mostly. You know, especially someone who has no experience, or a child in particular. Maybe they just like the shape, the look, the color. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with them trying to connect to that person other than waving. So, and I think it's pretty damn cool. I mean, you know, I've been on the pig for about 3 seasons now, and I think it's awesome when a little kid waves at a motorcycle. Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm maybe I'm in the right place at the right time. I don't know. Kind of a dumb idea, I guess, but that's just the way I look at it. I'm connected with, oh man, that kid's gonna grow up to be a tattooed Harley biker in the future. Like, yeah, kid, love tattoos and do drugs and live fast and die young. And I'm not here to skew anybody's idea. I could give a shit less what you want them to know or how you feel that they should behave, or I'm not trying to make them be somebody that you don't want them to be. I'm not even trying to be who you think I should be or who you want me to be. Well, all I'm saying is your children are going to be exposed to a lot more things in life than people with tattoos who ride motorcycles. And the only people we try to influence is our kids, and I can guarantee you that, at least in my case. I don't know. Just a thought, man. If you're one of those people, I mean, you're probably not watching this fucking video anyway, so maybe I'm just completely off target here. Maybe I should know my goddamn audience. My demographics all fucked up, sorry. You know, your kids are gonna decide someday to become who they are, or they want to be. You know, there's influences around every corner. It's in everything. I mean, people would say, oh yeah, it's, you know, it's the arts, it's music, and it's video games, and no, man, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And if you try to pull the influence out of one specific thing, then you're missing something else. It's that simple. Just a thought. So enough rambling. Back to the sound of this damn mic. Yes. So that's $3,000, and as you can tell, my motorcycle's out here trying to influence children to like loud things. Clearly. Ooh, $1.89 for the petrol. That's not bad. Doobie-doo. So what do you think about that Harley shake, huh? If you never owned a Harley, look at that. This is a touring bike. This is a huge pig, about 900 pounds here. It's just shaking away. I mean, obviously you get it up to a couple grand here on the tach, and the vibration goes away. But so there's a lot of videos on the internet a couple years back about the Harlem shake. They should renew them to the Harley shake, because this thing's got shake for days.